Well, the tiny star of the Cincinnati Zoo animal is getting her very own show.
I'm so excited.
On Facebook. I mean, she's very well known. She's a big deal now. Fiona the baby hippo will star in the Fiona Show, which premieres on Tuesday. It will include never-before-seen video of her birth in January. Fiona arrived 2 months premature and was half the weight of a normal baby hippo. Her story of survival will also be told in a book scheduled to be released in February. The book not only covers Fiona's birth and efforts to save her, but also her milestones and recent successful reunion with both of her parents.
Oh my gosh, I love her so much. They created a beer after her. There were so many things, and hippos are, I've said it a million times, they're my favorite animal ever. They are precious. I just love them. They're very dangerous, though, by the way.
They are cute to look at.
No, they kill.
And that's it.
Like 3,000 humans a year.
What?
Hippos do.
How do you know this? Did you look this up?
I'm not joking when I tell you this. I wrote a book about hippos.
I
wrote the book about hippo when I was in middle school.
Okay.
It's not a great read. And I drew all the pictures myself, but yeah.
So you're not kidding?
No, I really love hippos.
You do love hippos.
Yes.
They're cute. Okay, so well, I've learned something. They kill 3,000 humans a year.
Yes,
so
and when they sweat,
stay away.
They sweat a red liquid.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. I'm not making it up. I really did write a book. Okay, are you excited about the fall?
Oh yeah,
I am
I'm
too.
excited about
it's
the
my
weather
favorite
this weekend.
season. Yes, it's
feels
great.
fall-like.
Even outside, I had to put little jackets on my kids. While it's still too early to pick pumpkins, obviously, there was certainly a chill in the air this morning. That means fall flavors are on their way. Fall will hit Dunkin' Donuts locations starting on Monday. The chain will launch its lineup of fall-inspired food and beverages, including the return of pumpkin spice and the addition of maple and pecan flavors, along with pumpkin-flavored coffees, donuts, muffins. There's also pumpkin cream cheese to put on bagels, as well as a maple sugar breakfast sandwich, and maple pecan coffees and lattes. So there you have it, Monday.
Okay, so does watching a horror movie about a murderous clown while surrounded by clowns sound like a dream or a nightmare? Is that a question? Pretty sure it's a nightmare. Rick Damigella has the story and more in this Hollywood Minute.
You will train her harder than any Amazon before her.
Wonder Woman returns. Actually, the box office blockbuster is still in theaters after 12 weeks, but is headed to more screens this weekend. IMAX announced via Twitter that Wonder Woman is back on its large format screens for a limited run. Wonder Woman recently passed Spider-Man, released in 2002, to become the highest grossing superhero origin story at the domestic box office.
I see we have some visitors amongst us here today.
We were in the service together with your pastor.
I haven't seen these men in decades. They represent a dark period in my life.
That went down awfully quick.
Drinking for two now that you got old and boring.
Here's a look at Oscar nominees Steve Carell, Bryan Cranston, and Lawrence Fishburne as Vietnam vets who reunite to bury one of their sons in Richard Linklater's Last Flag Flying. The movie opens the New York Film Festival September 28th and debuts in theaters November 3rd.
I saw something.
A clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
If you have a fear of clowns, you might want to avoid the Alamo Drafthouse, at least for one night. The theater is holding a clowns-only screening of It, based on the Stephen King novel, at its Austin, Texas location. The September 9th screening seems to have come about after the theater chain received complaints on social media about women-only screenings of Wonder Woman earlier this year. A Facebook commenter asked if there would be, quote, a special screening for It that's only for those who identify as clowns. The theater responded by saying they might have to steal that idea. Apparently, they weren't clowning around. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
It is time to meet our pet of the week from the Roanoke Valley SPCA, and joining me to introduce us is Sylvie Peterson. And who have you brought today?
The best gentleman you've ever met. This is Russell.
Look at him.
I love him.
Tell us a little bit about him. He's so sweet.
He is very sweet, and he just thinks everybody is his best friend. He gets all excited. He'll stand up when you walk in the room, but he's a 12-and-a-half-year-old German Shepherd mix.
Okay.
And he was actually with us like a year and a half ago, and he was with us for a while because big dogs who eat quickly, scarf down their food, can sometimes be susceptible to bloat, and that's where like the stomach flips.
Oh, wow.
And it is life-threatening. And
Okay.
so he had to have emergency surgery. And, you know, at that point he was 11 and we didn't even know if he'd make it.
Right.
Well, look at
But
him now.
look at him.
So
he's doing good now.
He's doing good
but
now.
let's talk a little bit about that. The big dogs with the, you know, scarfing down their food. You actually have a different sort of bowl over here that I've never seen before.
Yes, it is really cool, and a lot of times they use it for play and for treats, but for a big dog like that, you spread the food around in that bowl, and he has to work for it, so he eats a piece at a time instead of being a vacuum cleaner and scarfing it all at one time.
Right, so that helps.
It helps, it eliminates the bloat problem because he's not just inhaling everything.
Yeah, well, he's so sweet. So, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about adoptable pets. It can be kind of hard to like sell people that. Why is that, and what do you see from that?
Well, they think that a pet that's surrendered or released is damaged goods. What is wrong with this pet? There has to be something wrong with it. See, he sees somebody walking. But a lot of times it's for reasons beyond the dog's or the cat's control. Right. The number one reason is it's usually there's an illness in the family or a death in the family, and no one in the family can take care of it. So it's very heartbreaking for everyone involved, but there are lots of reasons.
Yeah, can we hear about, I mean, we have heard the, you know, health situation, you know, people who are just, they can't take care. But what are some other reasons that you've kind of seen?
Well, some people develop allergies, or they have kids that suddenly have allergies to the pet. It could be that they're moving. It could be that they're having landlord issues. Maybe the rules have changed and they're no longer, or you know, they're forced to move to another state, another city, and they can't find a place that will have a big dog like this.
Right.
Oh, hi.
Which is so sad because, you know, people get, it's part of the family.
It is part of the family, and you know, nobody likes to think of them as disposable, but sometimes they're forced to make a very difficult decision.
Right.
Sometimes they're financially not able to take care of the pet anymore, a divorce, a loss of a job. So, you know, there's lots of reasons that pets suddenly find themselves homeless.
And let's talk puppies, kittens. You'll have whole litters. Now, what's kind of the situation there typically?
Primary reason is because people are not getting their pets spayed and neutered. So nature takes its course, and they're going to have litter after litter, and they can't find homes for them. So they turn them into shelters, they turn them into the pound. So that's, you know, if we get spayed and neuter problem under control, we're eliminating homelessness.
Okay, well, if somebody wants to make this beautiful dog part of their home, how can they come find you guys?
We are open noon to 6 every day. We're at 1340 Baldwin Avenue, and you know, I guarantee, just come and meet him. He loves belly rubs. He loves giving kisses. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a good dog. So if you want a link to their website, we're going to have it on our website. Just go to daytimeblueridge.com. Thank you.
You're welcome.